a terrifying financial, legal, and personal paper trail buried deep behind non-disclosure agreements, international asset structures in Hollywood. Legal firewalls has just been blown wide open, exposing the definitive administrative trap that legally binds Prince Harry to Meghan Markle, regardless of how broken their personal life becomes. And investigative biographer Tom Bower did not release a routine commentary on celebrity marital tension. In his explosive work Betrayal, he laid out a cold forensic breakdown of what high-level legal insiders confirm is the hidden divorce clause governing the Sussex union, a calculated multi-million-dollar structural trap that leaves Prince Harry facing absolute financial and personal ruin if he attempts a total exit. Why did the Montecito team instantly panic, branding these disclosures as deranged, conspiracy, and melodrama before the ink was even dry? Here is the unvarnished reality behind that hidden divorce clause, and here is what still does not add up. Welcome back to Royal Report, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do it right now. You don't want to get left.
I think that Harry always needed and loved Meghan. It was a marriage made in heaven for him. She obviously went into the marriage with other things in mind, namely fame and fortune and a glittering career in California. But
they think only their narrative, only their story should be accepted. They can't take it that somebody could criticize them, that someone can question them.
Many believe that it's impossible for the marriage to continue. They're under huge pressure now because of the finances. And I think that is always a huge test, a big test on any relationship.
But when you strip away the soft lighting, the glossy magazine covers, and the scripted docu where interviews, the underlying truth is far more clinical. What exists between Harry and Meghan today is not a flourishing romantic partnership. It is a tightly bound business arrangement, a commercial alliance sustained by mutual financial dependency, shared brand, leverage, and mutual survival. Tom Bower summarizes the tragic reality with absolute precision. Harry needs her because he is a deeply isolated, sad man who has severed every historical tie to his homeland, and she needs him because without his royal label, her entire commercial identity vanishes overnight. When you start pulling at the threads of this calculated dynamic, each answer uncovers a far deeper, far more terrifying question: what happens when a business partnership built entirely on monetizing royal status runs out of products to sell, while the baseline cost of maintaining that illusion reaches catastrophic levels? Follow the money, because financial pressure exposes the absolute truth when the public relations machine lies to maintain their high-stakes California existence. The baseline expenditure sits at over £3 million every single year, after taxes. Security teams alone swallow vast millions annually to guard their private estate. Add in astronomical property taxes, legal fees, personal publicists, and an ultra-luxurious lifestyle, and you have a financial engine that requires continuous massive cash infusions just to stay afloat. Meghan, driven by a childhood obsession with wealth and global stardom, aggressively pushed to build a lifestyle empire, but the multi-million-dollar deals that once poured in from streaming giants have completely collapsed. Why? Because once they told their origin story and aired their private grievances against the royal family, they had nothing original, authentic, or valuable left to offer the world.
Deranged, conspiracy, and melodrama. That's how Harry and Meghan have described Tom Bower's explosive new book about them.
I think at some stage the royal family will have to say enough is enough. Let us cut this before it gets any. I think the reason why people will be interested is because they're intrigued by the end game about the Sussexes. Divorce, desperation, debt, everything.
We don't know that's going to happen yet. We've got no sign yet that the marriage is in trouble. I appreciate there were some who witnessed the nuptials in Windsor.
Then I don't think there's some unbelievably rich billionaire in California desperate to take on Meghan and all her baggage, so I don't think her exit would be smooth. Harry always needed and loved Meghan. It was a marriage made in heaven for him. She obviously went into the marriage with other things in mind, namely fame and fortune and a glittering career in California. Look at the performative desperation that took over every single project they touched as the money started drawing up. Consider the Invictus Games, an event originally created to honor wounded, courageous military veterans under Meghan's direction. International commentators noted that the games were effectively rebranded into the Meghan Games. Cameras were positioned to capture her high-fashion wardrobe changes, her staged walks, and a highly contrived public kiss with Harry, while the actual stories of the competing athletes were pushed into the background. background the second she departed the venue major media, coverage evaporated. It exposed a complete lack of authentic connection to. The cause everything was turned into a stage set for personal brand. Maintenance, the same pattern repeated with retail ventures where public. Claims were made about hand bottling organic fruit preserves in Montecito, while the actual product was mass-produced in commercial industrial facilities in Illinois, a product line that sold poorly and left inventory sitting in warehouses. This relentless drive for narrative control and personal stardom was not just a point of public mockery, it was the primary source of catastrophic friction inside the royal family. Long before they fled to California, Tom Bower reveals that Princess Catherine saw right through Meghan's ambition from the very beginning. Catherine recognized an intensely ambitious opportunist who viewed the monarchy not as a sacred duty of lifelong service, but as a temporary stepping stone to achieve global Hollywood fame. Prince William saw it instantly as well. William reportedly warned Harry early in their courtship not to rush into the relationship, recognizing that Meghan possessed no loyalty to the crown and was operating with total ruthlessness on her own terms, but Harry, completely caught in the narrative and driven by deep-seated personal grievances, ignored his brother's warning, permanently fracturing the bond between the two princes. Now, look at the terrifying legal reality surrounding the hidden divorce clause, a reality that keeps Harry completely trapped. For years, observers assumed that if the marriage collapsed, Harry could simply pack his bags, return to London, and reclaim his former life, but legal analysis and insider reports confirm there is an administrative net that renders a clean exit nearly impossible. Consider the irreplaceable Princess Diana jewelry collection. When Harry and Meghan married, vast pieces of Diana's iconic historic jewelry were handed over to Meghan. Crucially, there was no prenuptial agreement executed specifying that upon a divorce, those historic royal heirlooms must be returned to the Spencer or royal vaults. Under legal reality, that priceless collection is considered Meghan's personal property. In any potential divorce settlement, she retains absolute legal ownership of those jewels unless Harry is willing to make massive, crippling financial concessions, such as trading vast portions of his remaining inheritance or future trust funds just to buy back his late mother's memory. If you are recognizing the sheer level of calculation and the tragic legal traps surrounding this relationship, you are seeing what corporate media networks work overtime to cover up. Thousands of sharp analytical minds are stepping away from superficial media spins and locking into our community on Royal Report every single day. Subscribe right now so you don't get left behind while everyone else is connecting these dots right here. Consider the incredible leverage that legal reality grants when priceless ancestral heirlooms, confidential personal journals, and hours of private family recordings sit in the hands of someone who has proven a complete willingness to commercialize private information. The leverage in any marital negotiation is absolute. Reports indicate that Meghan has already laid the groundwork for a post-marriage publishing deal, a tell-all memoir designed to be released if a final separation occurs. What was initially dismissed by Sussex publicists as a deranged conspiracy theory was later corroborated by top-tier publication circles. I'm sorry to put words in your mouth, but can you really imagine Meghan Markle allowing her children to go off to boarding school in the United Kingdom when, in my opinion, she clearly loathes it? Meghan understands that her value in the global market rests entirely on her ability to sell royal secrets. A post-marriage tell-all book combined with ownership of Diana's jewelry collection represents the ultimate insurance policy, a financial weapon that ensures she extracts maximum wealth regardless of whether she stays in the marriage or walks away. Look at Prince Harry's state of mind amidst this mounting pressure. Insiders describe Harry as experiencing profound, overwhelming regret, trapped in a state of deep personal isolation in California. He stands alienated from his family, abandoned by the A-list Hollywood network that once surrounded them, and reduced to B-list celebrity status, where elite peers enforce strict no cameras, no publicity rules whenever he is near. Harry and Meghan didn't want to play second fiddle to Prince William and Princess Catherine inside the monarchy, so they fled to California to build their own court, only to end up with no fiddle at all. This isolation explains Harry's sudden psychotic determination to secure taxpayer-funded UK security through endless court battles against the British Home Office. His obsession with securing state security is not about visa issues or temporary visits. It is a desperate, forward-looking contingency plan. Harry knows that if his marriage officially fractures, and he is forced to return to Britain, he cannot survive, logistically or personally, without state protection he is attempting to. Force the British taxpayer to fund his personal security shield in advance so that when the final collapse occurs, his landing in the United Kingdom is fully subsidized and protected by the state. Man, look at the absolute absurdity of this entire situation. You mean to tell me you spent 4 straight years suing the British government, calling the UK security apparatus unfair, telling the world how toxic London is, and now you are spending millions of dollars in court begging the very same government to give you full-time bodyguards for when you have to run back home. Listen to me, that is not a strategy. That is a man realizing he jumped out of an airplane without checking his parachute was packed. You cannot spend years spitting in the face of the state and then demand that the taxpayers pay for your personal security detail when your California dream turns into a nightmare. Oh, yes, I mean Harry, if you are what he was, the 3rd and now the 5th in light of succession, and you're a member of the royal family, your ambition isn't clearly material. I mean, he had all the money he needed, he had all the fame he needed, he had the applause he needed. The point about Meghan is she was looking for fame, she was looking for applause, she was looking for international recognition, which of course she failed to get because she had not enough talent. It was only by marrying Harry that she became the global celebrity that she is. Is Harry Sutton want to get back into the royal fold and return simply because if the marriage ends, where else is he going to go? He's not staying in the States. He's going to want to go home at his convenience, of course. And absolutely the answer to you here is, of course, I don't think that is a theory. I think that is a fact. Why has Harry gone from just over a year? Look, a Go briefing, I will never ever even consider even countenance leaving my new home of California to wanting to be here permanently. So of course, this is about a post-marriage planning look at how far Harry has fallen in his desperate attempt to maintain public relevance without his family. He attends peer support events for military first responders in California, attempting to position himself as a global mental health authority despite possessing 0 formal mental health qualifications, 0 clinical training, and facing widespread public questions regarding his own emotional stability. He speaks at charity conferences only to watch his wife take the microphone and speak almost entirely about herself too. Sustain her commercial brand. Every public appearance highlights a man who was completely out of his depth, stripped of his official military patronages, stripped of his royal duties, and manipulated into serving as a supporting actor in a continuous branding campaign. Look at the devastating trail of destruction left in the wake of this partnership to protect their commercial narrative. Harry and Meghan did not just target the royal family, they systematically targeted anyone in the media who dared to tell the unvarnished truth. Reports expose how they actively work to destroy independent journalists, conspiring through media proxies to suppress reporting regarding Meghan's abominable treatment of royal staff, bullying behavior that was so severe that both Queen Elizabeth II